Hey guys, Monday, October 5th. This is a segment I'm going to call Look Small, Find Small. A lot of times you get fixated on these bigger artifacts, but there's a lot of really nice small artifacts out there that get overlooked all the time. And so sometimes you just have to kind of set your mind to looking for them. And believe me, there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of nice, good finds out there. If you just kind of refocus your attention to the small stuff, it's there. We'll get started with this piece up here. See if this thing will focus on this black stone. But as you can tell, this is a natural bend in the stone. You can see on the side here. But one of the things that you got to realize that the Native Americans were smart people, and if they could find a stone that was naturally formed in a way that would get them about halfway through or halfway done with a tool that they needed to make, they were definitely going to pick it up and use that stone in order to get them to the finished product quicker. And I think this is a piece that was just like that. Even though that's got that natural bend in it, this has all been polished in through here, and I can tell that there's been a lot of wear right in through this piece, this dip in here too. You see how the edges are worn down on this thing in that groove. Probably ran air shafts through there to heat them up and to bend them and straighten them out. So I think that's what this tool was used for. You look on this side, it's not much work has been done on the bottom side here, but on the top it's been all polished, and sides have been polished, and that brown is where it was held, and the soils and oil from the fingers were actually would permeate into the stone. But I think that was used to actually straighten out shafts. Here's another piece that's shaped similarly, but this was used for something totally different. And I believe that this stone here was used to finish off pottery. You see the sides are kind of similar to that other stone. That's where it was held smooth. This stone has kind of been polished pretty much all the way around on this one, but anyway, I think this was used to finish off or smooth off pottery. Once pottery started setting up a little bit, they would want to smooth it off really well, and they would use these stones to do that. Here's another piece I think that was used for pottery also. That's the edge, rubbing edge right there. Now this piece here, I had a friend of mine look at this and he wasn't real sure about it, but it's a piece of quartz that's been polished off all the way around this thing. Anyway, he said possibility that this could have been a spur, an Atlatl spur. And I was like, well, how would that work? And he said, well, they would bury about half of this stone into the stick, to the handle of the Atlatl. And this part right here would end up being the spur part. And that's where the spear shaft would lay on that end there, and used to push the shaft into the air. They would round out or hollow out that shaft on. Sorry about this thing not focusing too well, but on the shafts, and that rounded out part of the bottom of the shaft, spear shafts, would just sit in that groove right there on the spur there. Thought this was this piece too was a Atlatl spur, which makes sense to me too. Piece of black stone. And these are, I'm not going to pick all these up here, but these are all similar stones. They're all scrapers. They were used to scrape either hides, probably more to condition than scrape, or they were either used for finishing off pottery. Here's a really thin piece here that could have been used for possibly for hides, but I'm not real sure. It's that black stone material. Again, I apologize for the focusing, but this phone has a fit with this black stone. Here's a piece here. I'm actually thinking this is just a small square hammerstone. The edges are all real worn around this piece here. It's a piece of quartzite. But I'm thinking this is just a square hammerstone. Anybody else got any ideas on it, let me know, but that's my best guess on that one. And here's a pretty interesting tool here. It's the way it's shaped. It's all been grooved out on two sides here, all rounded off on the back, and kind of see the darkness right in here. I have no idea on this one. I've been kind of puzzled for a while on this piece. I'm pretty sure it was held, like this, because of where the grooves are on this stone. But I don't know what they use this little rounded end for. I mean, I don't know. It's just a small tool. It's got that darkening in there, and that's usually from either from grains and nuts or from your fingers, but I don't know. It's dark in here, dark in there. Let me know what you think on that one. These all here are all rubbing stones here. See the edges on these things that have been rubbed off. Probably used for pottery, finishing pottery, or rubbing other tools. See the darkness on each side here. It's where they held it with their fingers. And here's another puzzle here. They've chipped this stone. It's dual material. It's granite on top. It's got a layer of quartz in the middle and then granite on the bottom again. But they chipped it out down to the quartz. And don't know why they did that. I don't know what maybe this was something that they gave up on. I don't really know, but anyway, I just thought when I saw it in the creek, I just thought it was pretty cool looking. This is all quartz here, and that's the granite, but they chipped down to that quartz layer, and then I don't know what else, what their intent was with this thing. It's kind of pretty. Get it to focus. Like I say, you can see that quartz layer in there that they chipped down to. Let me know on that one if you got any guess. This is a really nice piece of black stone. This is just a grinding or a polishing stone, but somebody put a lot of work into this piece. It's polished off all the way around this thing. got a little divvy out in the top up here in front of this thing. I think that was primarily the polishing surface there. That's a pretty piece. And here's a little small, really small palm grinder. It's a grinded surface there. And this is where they'd lay their finger on the front right there. They would smooth that out. Just be used like that. I call it a palm grinder. It's even smaller than a palm grinder actually. Here's a pretty interesting tool here. This tool was, you know, at first I thought maybe that was a natural break in there, but that's been all chipped out in there. It's almost like a blade of some kind. But they chipped this down. You can see a couple of different layers where they've chipped it down. It's dark in here. It's all, the whole handle part of this thing's all been polished. So I think they used that as some kind of either a blade or, you know, a scraping tool of some kind. I'm going to switch hands here. This is a right hand piece. And get a better look at it this way. See where they've chipped it down in there into this kind of a blade shape, but I guess they would just hold this thing and, you know, work it as a scraper or some kind of blade. And last, this is just a nice little polishing piece here. This is made out of kind of a low-grade quartzite. This stone is polished completely around. They could be held like this. Alright guys, I got some more cleanup to do. Anyway, I always appreciate you guys tuning in, and any feedback's welcome. And been awful busy with a lot of different things, family and work, but starting to get pretty cool up here too in Northeast Georgia. But I'm going to keep going at it as long as I can. Appreciate it, guys.